Good morning children, I am Sanamis here. Today we are doing the natural resources part 5 video. So I hope you are copying down all the question answers which we have done in the past videos into your biology notebook. So we will go into the class now. The first question for today is, water is universal solvent and hence it is important medium for all the life processes. So the question is, water is essential for life. Why? State 3 points. That is the question. Water is essential for life. Why? And you have to state 3 points why it is important. So the answer is, water is a universal solvent and hence it is important for all the life processes. We all know that it is a universal solvent because it can dissolve so many things, and all our life activities, each and every cell requires water. So water is the universal solvent. So it is an important medium for all the process. So that is why water is very important. Next, why? It is used for industries like cooking, cooling, heating and washing. So many things we use water for, drinking, etc. Then it is a habitat for the large number of aquatic organisms. That is, it is a habitat means it is a place where the animals live. That is habitat. So it is for a lot of animals. Aquatic animals means fishes, plants in water, they live in water. So the water provides a habitat for many aquatic animals and plants. Okay. Now the next question is, name the 2 elemental forms in which carbon occurs. Name the 2 elemental forms in which the carbon occurs. So to this question, the answer is diamond and graphite. The 2 elemental forms of carbon is diamond and graphite. The next one is, name any 2 forms in which carbon is found in combined state with other elements in nature. We all know that carbon dioxide in air and carbonates in salts. So this is combined form. Then the third question, explain briefly how it can be said that all the life forms are based on carbon containing molecules. It is because proteins, carbohydrates, fats, nucleic acids, vitamins have carbon containing molecules. So all the proteins, nucleic acids, that is the DNA and RNA, all are having carbon in it. So that is why we say that all the life forms have carbon. Okay. Now we will move to the next question. How are CFCs harmful for the environment and living beings? CFCs means it is chlorofluorocarbons. So how it is affecting the environment also and also the life of human beings. So CFCs are very stable and they are not degraded by any biological processes. So we know that CFCs, it is chlorofluorocarbon, they are not degraded by any bacteria or fungi. So it is very stable. It is not getting eliminated from the earth. It is always present on the earth. Next, it is found to persist in the atmosphere and it reacts with the ozone layer to produce holes in the ozone layer. UV rays enters the earth through their holes and affect various forms of life. So CFCs are very harmful. They are present in the atmosphere and they are degrading the ozone layer and all the ozone layer is getting holes, and all the UV radiations from the sun enter the earth. That's how it's affecting the human beings. Okay, our next question is, our earth is covered approximately with 75% of water. Still there is a urgent need to conserve water. Why? That is the question. So the answer is, we know that approximately 98% of the total water present in the atmosphere is saline. Only 2% of the water is fresh water and useful for human consumption. We know that most of the water present are in the seas. So it is saline, means it is salt water. We are not able to consume that. Now 2% is available in the fresh water for human consumption in the rivers and seas. Due to human activities, the potable water becomes unfit for drinking due to water pollution. Hence, there is a need for conservation of water. So the human activities also pollute the water. So we need to conserve the water. Okay. Next question. Name two biologically important compounds that contain both oxygen and nitrogen. Then the second portion of the question, what is the role of nitrogen fixing bacteria? So the answer is nucleic acids, that is DNA and RNA and proteins. So these two, oxygen and nitrogen, are present in the living things. Then next is, what is the role of nitrogen fixing bacteria? I have told you that atmospheric nitrogen plants cannot take that. So the nitrogen fixing bacteria will convert the nitrogen present in the atmosphere. It will convert into nitrates and nitrites and make available to the plants. Now the next one is, list two forms of oxygen found in the atmosphere. There are two forms of oxygen present in our atmosphere, and what is it? That is the diatomic oxygen and triatomic oxygen. Diatomic oxygen is nothing but our ordinary oxygen, which is O2, and triatomic oxygen is nothing but O3, that is the ozone. Now name the processes by which oxygen from the atmosphere is used up and oxygen is returned to the atmosphere. So oxygen is used up in the process of combustion, respiration, and in the formation of oxides of nitrogen. Oxygen is returning to the atmosphere by the process of photosynthesis. When the plants, they take up the carbon dioxide, sunlight, water, they give out oxygen. So that is how it is returned to the atmosphere. Now next is, state two causes and two effects of deletion of the ozone layer. So why we have to write about the cause, two cause, and what are the two effects because of the depletion of ozone layer. So first we will discuss about the two cause. First is, we know that the use of aerosol sprays, chlorofluorocarbons, and all these are responsible for the depletion of ozone layer, and also smoke from the supersonic jet planes also cause damage to the ozone. These are the two causes, how it is getting damaged. Now we will see what are the two effects. So it is getting damaged. So what are the two effects? UV rays coming to Earth's surface may cause skin cancer, cataract, and inflammatory diseases. It may also change the gene structure in plants and animals. Next, we will move into the next question, that is, give reasons. we are giving reasons for the following statements. I will read out the statement once, then I will tell you the reason also. So first is percentage of gases like oxygen, nitrogen and carbon dioxide remain almost same in the atmosphere. So the percentage of carbon dioxide, oxygen and nitrogen, they are present in the same amount in the atmosphere. But we are using it also. So how is that amount not changing? So the answer to this is biogeochemical cycles balance the intake and release of these gases. So we have studied the biogeo cycles, that is we have studied carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, oxygen cycle and how it is circulated in nature between the living and non-living things, biotic and abiotic factors. So the cycle is always maintained. So the oxygen which is used up is returning to the atmosphere in some other form. Same like that, the nitrogen which is used up is also returned to the atmosphere in some other form. Same like that, carbon dioxide also. So that is why the percentage of oxygen, carbon dioxide and nitrogen is same in the atmosphere because of the biogeochemical cycles balancing the intake and releasing of these gases. Now the next statement is, even though moon is at the same distance from the sun as the earth, still the range of temperature is very wide, 190 degree to minus 190 degrees centigrade to 110 degree centigrade. So why it is like that? The distance from the sun, that the earth and the moon, they are same, but why it is the temperature difference? Morning, if it is the extreme temperature, if it is minus 90 degrees C, then it will come to more than 100 degrees centigrade also. So why is that? Why is it like that in case of moon? But in earth we don't have such a big temperature difference. So in the moon there is no atmosphere, so it cannot trap the IR radiation. So it is the infrared radiation and it is there is no atmosphere. So since there is no atmosphere in the moon, that is why there is a temperature difference in the moon. The next question is, fossil fuels cause air pollution. So burning of coal and petroleum are the fossil fuels. They release oxides of nitrogen, carbon and sulfides which pollute the atmosphere. So that is the reasons for these three statements. Now we will move into one 5-mark question we will discuss in this lesson, and that is the next. That is the what do the blanks. So I've given you one picture. I will show you the picture after this. So that is having in the carbon cycle, there are few boxes left empty and named 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we have to write what these stands for. So in the carbon cycle, few boxes are empty. We have to fill it in. Okay. What do the blanks 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 given in the cycle stand for? So now I will tell you what it is. The first one is organic compounds and second one is first is plants and second one is animals. So these both are organic compounds. The third one is inorganic carbonates. Then that is the shells and carbonates in the water. In the aquatic animals, they are made up of shells, so they are carbonates. So these are inorganic carbonates. They are found in the water. Then the fifth one is limestone. So this is the 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 which you can see in the picture. Now next is name 2 natural and 1 man-made process by which carbon dioxide returns to the atmosphere. So what is 2 natural and 1 man-made process by which carbon dioxide returns to the atmosphere. That is natural process, respiration and decomposition. Respiration means we know that taking in of oxygen and giving out of carbon dioxide. That is burning of the glucose, breakdown of the glucose and release of energy will give out the carbon dioxide. So that is the natural process. And decomposition also. All the waste is decomposed. So a certain amount of energy or carbon dioxide is released to the atmosphere. Now the next one is that is the natural process. Now man-made process is combustion of fuel. Man-made means we burn so many things. Combustion means burning. So we burn so many things so that carbon dioxide is released to the atmosphere, returns to the atmosphere. Now third one is carbon dioxide is necessary for plants but it is also a pollutant. Justify your answer. We know that carbon dioxide causes the global warming. It causes the average temperature to increase and it is responsible for global warming. Okay children, this is one of the 5-mark question. Usually you don't get it the whole thing, you get sub questions. Most of the 5-mark questions you will have so many sub questions. So we have discussed few important questions from this chapter with the 5 videos. So we are completing this. Hope you all have understood this. Thank you children. Have a nice day.